Hola chicos, ya estamos listos para empezar con el capítulo 2. Now we're ready to start with Capítulo 2, Chapter 2. First, a word on Chapter 1. I know that many of us had kind of a rough time getting started with this, thrown off a little bit by perhaps the structure of the modules, or maybe this was the first time taking an online course, or we're a bit intimidated by having to come right out of the gate using Spanish right from the start. That is part of the reason I did that very quick online lecture, which I'm sorry I scheduled very last minute, and so no one was able to attend. But I wanted to just go through some of the concepts and address them to hopefully make you more comfortable. I am planning on doing another online lecture with Capítulo 2. I'm not sure exactly when yet. I'm trying to look at the possibility of maybe doing it on Sunday late morning, or maybe one evening in the next week. And I will post the information with 3 or 4 days notice, so hopefully some of you can be there and go through the information with me. So going on to Chapter 2. Hopefully you're done with all of your work for Chapter 1. If you are watching this on Wednesday, September 18th, you may still be finishing up because you still have today until midnight to finish up. But make sure you have all of your My Spanish Lab that is on the clock on the calendar for September 18th done. Make sure you've done your Facebook posts, that you have watched Glee, the Spanish teacher, and have posted in the forum, that you've attended SI, and just make sure you have all the required work completed. So, Capítulo 2, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from? Of course, we've already been talking about this, so you are familiar with that. So, some of what we're going to be doing in this chapter is learning questioning in Spanish. We will learn yes/no questions. You're going to learn interrogative words, words like what, where, when, how, why, and how to use those to put together questions. We will be learning more adjectives. We already started this, of course, in Capítulo 1, with talking about adjectives, how you would describe students, how you might describe things in the classroom, adjectives of color. In this chapter, we're going to learn more descriptive adjectives again, and also adjectives of nationality, so that you will be able to say that somebody is Argentinian, for example. Grammar-wise, we will be working with forming and conjugating verbs in Spanish. So we will be learning the present tense conjugation of AR, ER, and IR verbs. So basically how you would be able to conjugate all regular verbs in the Spanish present tense. Furthermore, we are going to be learning our first irregular verb in Spanish, which is the verb tener, and learning how to conjugate that in the present tense. You've already done this a little bit. Tener is the base verb for when you use the yo form tengo. So when you say, for example, tengo 46 años, I'm 46 years old, you are using the verb tener. And we will be learning how to conjugate that in the present tense and how to make use of that. Culturally, we will be talking about España, about Spain. So make sure that you take time to go through the cultural section. Homework-wise, of course, you want to make sure that you read Capítulo 2 and listen to the audio tracks for it. You want to make sure that you do the homework in My Spanish Lab. That is for the October 3rd calendar date. You will be watching the film Spanglish, and that is There are links for that posted in the modules, which of course you are free to use those to watch. They aren't the greatest quality. We do this for you so that you can maybe save some money, but of course you can watch those also via Netflix or maybe iTunes videos, those type of resources. After you watch the film, of course, you will be posting in the forums in relation to stereotypes that you see in the film, both Hispanic stereotypes and stereotypes of U.S. people or Americans. You will be working with the next Michel Thomas disc number 3. Now, a few students have asked, how are you going to know if we've actually listened to Michel Thomas and practiced it and made sure we know what is the English and Spanish translations? And the way we will know is that Michel Thomas is going to show up on your first exam. So you do want to make sure that you do that and you practice with it. For your Facebook post, you are going to post about mi horario del otoño. So your schedule for the fall, what your class schedule looks like, how busy you are, what classes you are taking. And again, you can make up what you put in there. You don't have to really say what classes you're taking. You can make up the fictitious classes. That's fine. Just use the proper Spanish. That's all you really have to do. And when you are done with all of the work for Capitulo 2, you are going to be taking your first exam. And the first exam will cover materials from Capítulo 1 y Capítulo 2. So, of course, you also want to make sure that you are attending your SI sessions, because not only does this help you learn the material or review the materials, but it also will most definitely help you to prepare for the first exam. So, buena suerte, get going with your work, and I will let you know a few days in advance when I am going to be doing my next live lecture. Adios.